So this morning we've come down to the Hub garden. Do you recognise it? We haven't been here for ages, have we? And I've got Jo with me and we've got a challenge for Jo. Can you see her waving? That's it, there she is, right at the back, just behind me. And in front of Jo on the ground, can you see some blue and red sticky slimy guns? Now this is the challenge. I'm going to help Jo get from where she's standing right up to where I am here and see if she can walk to me without touching the gunge. Do you think she can do it? Now there's one slight problem. Have you noticed that Jo is wearing a bright red blindfold? So Jo isn't going to be able to see where she's going. She needs to trust me and the instructions that I'm going to give her. Now, do you think she can do it? Do you think she's going to trust me? Let's have a look. Jo, are you ready? Are you going to trust me to lead you through the gunge to where I'm standing?
So I've got to listen to you and do what you say.
That's right.
And trust you.
Yes.
And you're going to get me through the gunge without me stepping in it.
Yes.
And I can't see where I'm going.
You can't see where you're going and you're going to walk towards me.
Okay, let's give it a go.
Shall we try? Don't worry about falling off the deck and don't worry about touching the wall. It will be just fine. Just trust me. Okay? Right, ready, off we go. Okay. So let's take half a step forward.
Half a step. Okay.
Half a step, a little step. Excellent.
Like okay.
Good job. Okay, now could you take a big step to your right?
My right.
Your right.
Okay, ready?
Excellent. Join the feet together. Perfect. Well done. Okay, now what do you reckon? Shall we go half a step, half another step to your right?
To the right?
To the right, yes.
Are you sure?
I'm absolutely certain.
I really feel like I'm very close to the wall.
Jo, you need to trust me. Half a step to the right. Okay. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Well done. And a quarter step to the right.
Another?
Teeny, tiny step to the right, yep.
But the wall.
No, that's okay. Tiny step. Lovely. Excellent. And a big step forward. Big step forward. Excellent. And a little tiny step forward. Oh, bigger than that. I didn't mean that tiny. And another teeny, tiny. Lovely job. Okay. Shall we go forward or sideways? Okay, let's see if we can do a medium-sized step towards me. So to your left.
To my left.
Yep, to your left. That's it. That's it. Excellent. And another step forward. Forward. Big step, big step.
But I think they
big step, big step forward and you'll be fine. Big. I said big step forward.
But I thought there was going to be some guns
but
there.
Jo, you didn't. Trust me, the gunge was a little step.
Oh no. Oh, and that's what happens, isn't it? You see, it's important in life if you know who you can trust. And I should have known that I can trust Vicky. And when I didn't trust her, look what happened. Oh. But in our story today, trust is really important there as well. Our story is about a new character today. It's someone called Ruth from the Bible. And Ruth and her mother-in-law, Naomi, were in a really, really difficult situation. And they had to trust God, even though they couldn't see what he was doing. They had to trust him to look after them. So as you watch the video, see if you can work out why their situation was so difficult. And do you know anyone else who was born in the place where they ended up?
Wow, well, that'd be interesting. I wonder if Ruth found it difficult to trust God. I wonder if she found it hard to follow him and take her family to an unknown place. Did she find it difficult to trust, just like Jo did? Let's watch the video and see.
A long time ago, before Jesus was even born, there was a woman named Naomi.
She was moving back to Bethlehem,
where she had grown up because her husband had died. So it wasn't safe to stay where she was
because she didn't have anyone to take care of her.
Her daughter-in-law, Ruth,
whose husband had also died,
could have moved back to her home,
Moab. But instead,
she said to Naomi,
"Where you go, I will go.
And where you stay, I will stay." So they moved to Bethlehem together.
When they got there, they had to find work.
Food
Back then, farmers would leave grain in the field.
for the poor people to gather.
It was called
Drum roll. Gleaning. So Ruth gleaned
in a field.
owned by a man named Boaz
Every day, Ruth would go to the field.
and pick up the barley that had dropped. She worked really hard to feed her family.
Boaz,
The owner of the field, saw Ruth one day.
and noticed how hard she had been working.
He told his workers,
Drop a little extra barley for Ruth. He took good care of her.
he protected her.
And after a while,
He wanted to marry her. And guess what?
she wanted to marry him too.
So they did. Eventually they had a son,
Obed, who had a son,
Jesse, who had another son.
and that son,
Was David, the one who killed Goliath, the king of Israel.
the one who wrote the book of Psalms.
And he was related to someone pretty special too, Jesus.
Maybe Ruth thought she was alone, but God had big plans for her.
To be a part of Jesus' family.
And that's
And that's a part of God's story.
So today I've decided to come to the beach for my wander. I love the beach, even when it's a little bit chilly, there's no sunshine, but at least it's not raining. One of my favourite things to do is to watch the waves. I love the sound of the water crashing on the pebbles as they come in and out onto the shore like clockwork. It reminds me of God's faithfulness and power, and that He can be trusted in every situation. Now there's a very old story about a king. His name was King Canute, and he was a very powerful man, and all of his people followed him and praised him, and they believed he had the power to do absolutely anything. They told him every day that they believed there was no one in the world as powerful and as mighty as him. But King Canute knew this wasn't true. He was just a king, just a man. And so one day he wanted to teach them a lesson. He took his royal courtiers to the beach and he said to them, "So if I am the greatest and most powerful in the world, and you say all things obey me, I can see that the tide is coming in and going out. So do you think it will stop if I command it to?" "Absolutely," they all said. "Very well," said the king. "Ocean, turn back now." What do you think happened? "I've ordered you to stop." Well, of course, the waves continued to crash onto the shore. "Well, my friends," Canute said to all his courtiers, "it seems that I don't have quite as much power as you would have me believe. Perhaps now you will remember there is only one king who is all-powerful, and it is he who rules the sea and holds the ocean in the palm of his hands. So I suggest you reserve your praises for him." The royal courtiers were very shocked and very embarrassed. He wasn't the all-powerful king that they had thought he was. Now, when you were watching Joe and I in our gunge experiment, Joe wasn't sure if she could completely trust me, was she? You could see that I was telling her all the right instructions, but she couldn't see anything, and she wasn't able to completely trust me. You could see that I was trustworthy. I'm trustworthy, but I'm not God. King Canute was a good and powerful man, but he was not God. Ruth put her trust in God, and she was as certain as we see the waves coming in and going out that God would provide all that was needed. Let's watch these waves for a moment, and as they crash onto the shore, Let's tell God some of the things that are going on in our lives that we want to trust Him to sort out. Maybe things that we're worried about, maybe people that we're worried about, maybe plans that we're worried about. Let's put our trust in a faithful God who works out all things for our good.